Today I'll be going over some issues with my New York Times article and how it hurts the credibility of the author. I am going to refute this New York Times editorial that claims allowing Trump's attitude to drive the decisions that he makes with Mexico will have serious consequences for both countries. Although I agree with most of the points made in the article, it seems that the author needs a little tweaking to make this a valid argument. I will go over some false supporting evidence as well as lack of supporting evidence throughout the article. I'll begin with my first point of dispute regarding some supporting evidence the author used. The author states imports to the United States totaled $296 billion in 2015. This piece of evidence is incorrect and makes the sources the author used seem not credible. $296 billion is close to the total of exports in 2015, which was $267.2 billion. Either the author miswrote the sentence and put import when they meant export, while still having the wrong amount, or the sources used were not quality information. According to United States Trade Representative webpage, the total from imports in 2015 was around $316.4 billion. The webpage also gives the total for exports in 2015, which was previously mentioned amount of $267.2 billion. This big of a number difference could help the author persuade more of his or her audience. The author's main claim talked about the consequences of Mr. Trump's decisions when it comes to Mexican trades. The false supporting evidence does not help the main claim because it underestimates the total of imports. Now I'll move to the conclusion of the article. The very last sentence of the article is Americans would pay for the wall, not Mexicans. One of the last claims that the author of this article makes is a claim without any supporting evidence. It was the final sentence of the article, and there was nothing else to back it up except for another claim right before the final sentence. Neither of these claims had supporting evidence, which didn't make them seem very valid. The author's main claim talked about the consequences of Mr. Trump's decisions. For this to be the big finale of the article, I find it very disappointing that the author did not include any supporting evidence. According to an article written by Mark A. Thesian in Washington Post, Trump can make Mexico pay for the wall. A corporate tax reform plan referred to as the border adjustment is how America would be able to get Mexico's money. The plan would add tax to imports, but exports would become tax-free. Having found this information on how Trump could get Mexico to pay for the wall, I see why the author may not have given any supporting evidence. This evidence goes against his main claim and would have hurt his argument in the long run. This brings me to my next point, which is the lack of supporting evidence. This is throughout the entire article. There are many different claims that do not have supporting evidence. For every paragraph, there is at least one claim that does not have any supporting evidence to back it up. As mentioned in the previous paragraph, the last two sentences of the articles are claims. Neither of these claims are supported with any supporting evidence. The proof is in the article itself. Every paragraph has at least one claim that is not backed up. The author should have gone into more detail about certain claims that they stated. For example, one of the claims talks about the decrease of illegal immigration, but does not give any information proving that this claim is true. The lack of supporting evidence does not help the main claim because there is not a lot to persuade us on when it comes to the claims. The claims are just thrown into the article without any backup. In conclusion, although I agree with some of the points that are made in this article, I do think that there is a little bit of work that needs to be done when it comes to supporting evidence to make the argument valid. The incorrect supporting evidence and lack of supporting evidence is unprofessional and does not help the credibility of the author. Thank you.